You just got a new client, yay! But now we've got to figure out exactly what to do next. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how to welcome your very new coaching client. All right, welcome back. If you are just getting started with coaching, or you just got your first free client or your first paid client, and now you're like, okay, well, what do I do next? I know how to coach because I was taught how to coach, and I know that this is my area of expertise, but what do I actually do from an administrative standpoint? That's what I want to share with you today. And I'm going to actually share with you my process of how I welcome a client, and I will also provide you some resources, some free downloads that you can use in order to create your very own client welcome process. So before we get started, why is having a consistent process to welcome new clients important? Well, it all comes down to branding. And we've talked about how to brand yourself as a coach before. And if you haven't had a chance to watch that video, definitely go watch it. And welcoming a new client in the exact same way so that every client gets that same consistent process is part of your branding. It's part of your positioning as a high ticket coach. And even if you're not quite offering high ticket coaching packages and you'd like to position yourself so that you can start charging more, well, this is a great place to start. You're going to be able to make that very first impression on your coaching client so things get started on the right foot. It's kind of like watering a tree. So watering a tree or watering your plant, you're nurturing it every day so that it grows the way you want it to grow, so that it continues to provide you that beautiful greenery. And that's what this process is like. So creating a client welcome kit or client welcome process is allowing you to nurture the relationship. It's allowing you to grow the connection between you and your client that much better. So how do we start the client welcome process? Well, it actually starts on the discovery call, on the strategy call, during that strategy session. The first step is to tell them what to expect as soon as you get off of the call. And if you need more help with your strategy calls or figuring out how to actually close that client, then you're going to want to watch my video on the strategy for strategy calls. That video is not quite published yet, but if you click the subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications, you'll know exactly when it comes out next. By the way, you should subscribe. If you're new to this channel, stick around if you need help with branding and marketing yourself so you can grow your income and create your very own version of a lavish life. I'm so glad to have you here. So that's the very first step, is to tell them what to expect on the call. So what does this look like? Well, as you're going through your strategy call, you might call it a discovery call, you might call it a mini coaching session. As you're going through this call, you are essentially preparing them for what happens next. And the first step in that process is actually closing on that call and signing that person as a client and inviting them to work with you. But the next step from there is to essentially give them an idea of what comes next. So what are you going to be doing next? Are they going to receive an email? Are they going to receive something in the mail? Do you need their address? So start thinking about what you need to prepare them for on that very first call. So for example, my very next step when I work with a client one-on-one is to send them the coaching contract. So after we get done with that strategy session, that discovery call, the very next step is, okay, great. We've got the payment all taken care of. You're going to receive a contract by email. And once they get that contract via email, then the next step happens, and the next step and the next step. I have a client welcome email. They know that they're about to get the contract as well. And all of those things are going to happen, but I'm preparing them for it on that very first call. So this might be the final step that you plan, but this is the first step that will happen in sequence. And so as we go through the rest of the video and I share with you exactly what to consider when you're creating your very own client welcome process, you'll be able to come back to this step and figure out exactly what you need to tell that client on the call that you're going to do. Now, the second part of welcoming a new client, I kind of already mentioned it, but is getting that payment and getting the contract signed with the client. So once you've gotten the payment, now you can send over the contract. The contract will have the terms of the agreement. It'll have how much your coaching program costs, any refund policies if you have them, disclaimers, and all of the other legal mumbo jumbo that's necessary to make sure that you are outlining the expectations for yourself as well as for your client and setting up that client agreement and that coaching client arrangement. So typically what happens for me, what I do is right after the call, we've got the payment. I'll let them know, hey, the very next thing that's going to happen is you're going to receive an email from me that's going to have more details on how we can get everything set up. And so during the call, I've explained to them everything that they receive, like Voxer access in between sessions. You're going to get this many phone calls. You're going to get, we're going to work on these things specifically. We're going to do your kickoff call. So I guess maybe it would be helpful if I gave you an idea of how my process works, and then we can kind of come back around to each of these. So during the discovery call, we're going through the process of, figuring out, and I call my calls clarity calls because my goal is to help my clients get really clear on their next step. If you're clear on what you want and your next steps in order to get there, whether that next step is working with me or not, you'll feel that much more powerful and empowered to take that next step. So once we get to that point, and then I choose that this is somebody that I can help, and I'm ready to work with them, then I'll give them information and give them the details on how they can get signed up. Typically, we go ahead and lock everything up right on the phone. On some occasions, depending on how the conversation goes, I will send a recap email and give them the opportunity to read through everything on their own and then kind of go from there. Then the next thing that happens is I let them know, hey, you're going to receive an email so that we can schedule our kickoff call. So the way that I've structured my coaching programs is I do a kickoff call before we even start the actual coaching sessions. The reason that I do this is on the kickoff call, the discovery call / clarity call is different from an actual coaching call. It does have some sort of coaching elements, but mostly I'm really getting clear on do you want the transformation? Are you ready to do the work that's required? What is the transformation that you're looking for? Like, what are your expectations and what resources do you have available to you to actually reach that goal that you have? For example, if you say you want to, reach 1,000 people, but you haven't started your email list yet, like where are we in terms of what is actually possible during an 8-week coaching program with me? So that's the difference in the strategy call or discovery call versus talking to someone on a kickoff call. So typically on a kickoff call, I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper into the actual plan. So the initial call, I'm getting clear on what you need. And on the kickoff call, I'm actually creating the plan. So during the kickoff call, we kind of go through the process of figuring out, okay, what are the things that you need? What are our focus goals? And what actions are we going to take right away in order to get there? And then you get started with your first set of quote unquote homework. And then we move into actually doing the coaching session. So that's why my welcome process begins with, all right, after you made your payment, you're going to receive an email. In that email, you'll get more details on how to connect with me, how to schedule your kickoff call, because we don't schedule the kickoff call until we get the contract signed. So I'll also let them know that you're going to receive another email from my contract signing program. And I personally use DocSketch. It's a software that I really like, and I just upload my contract and I'm able to create, little fill in the blank areas for the client to sign, as well as provide their address, because there's another part that I'm about to share with you in just a second. But that's what I use in order to get my coaching contract signed. So they'll get one email from DocSketch, and then they'll get another email from me. The second email from me gives them the details on how to schedule their kickoff call, how to connect with me via Voxer, and then I let them know you're also going to receive an email with the contract, so keep an eye out for that. Once you sign the contract, go ahead and schedule your kickoff call. So essentially what I'm doing when I welcome a new client is I'm giving them piece by piece the onboarding process. I don't want to throw everything at them at once. Like, hey, you're going to get a contract and then go here and schedule your call. And then, you're going to sign up on Voxer right here. Like, each piece is step by step. So on the initial call, I let them know you're going to get an email, and then that's it. Then they get the email, and the email says, here's where you can go to schedule your kickoff call and connect with me on Voxer. That's it. And then I also let them know you're going to receive an email about the coaching contract. And then the coaching contract email just says, here's where you can go to sign the contract, and that's it. So as part of that onboarding process, once they complete signing the contract, now we have a coaching relationship. And they have their kickoff call scheduled. And then my goal is, before the kickoff call, is to do step 3. So step 1, I said, tell them what to expect on the call. Step 2 was to get the payment and the contract before scheduling any coaching sessions or going any further. Then step 3, which is optional, but I really like it, and that's to send a physical gift. So I've been doing this since the very first coaching client, and it's something that I really, really enjoy. I love sending my clients like nice little physical gifts. I had the experience, one of the very first coaches that I worked with, I spent thousands and thousands of dollars, and I remember like I didn't get a thank you note or a hello or a welcome or anything like that. And I remember like it's not like I was expecting it. And I don't think I realized I was kind of expecting it until it didn't come. And then I was like, oh, well, okay. And then the very next coach that I work with, I didn't spend nearly as much. She sent me a notebook, she sent me a letter, a welcome letter, and you know, it was that touch. It was like a nice touch where it made me feel like, wow, like she really appreciates my business and she really appreciates the fact that I chose her as my coach. And as I was starting to, you know, gain my own clients, I realized that I want to put this in place for every single client. So what I do is I purchased a couple of boxes. They're kind of the boxes that you can put together yourself. So I bought a couple of those boxes from Amazon, and every time I get a coaching client, I grab a box and I box it up. And then I bought some tissue paper. I put tissue paper in there and then those little crinklies. So the box feels like you're getting a subscription box. It feels like, you got something nice in the mail that's coming to you. Then from there, I place a thank you note. So I write a little thank you note, and then I put a couple of different items in there. Now I haven't shown what items I put in the box because I do still want it to be a surprise for my one-on-one coaching clients. I want you to open the box and be pleasantly surprised at what goes in there. So I'm not going to share the secret sauce of what I actually put inside of it. But if you're trying to figure out what you should put inside of a welcome kit for your clients, I recommend thinking of things that are maybe local to your area or specific to you. Anything that is specific to the type of client that you like working with or the type of work that you're going to be doing with that client. For example, if you are helping them with branding, maybe what you do is think about what are their branding colors and, go grab something from Target or grab something that is similar to their branding colors. I remember, so many of my clients are females, and I remember one of the very first times I had a male one-on-one coaching client, I was like, what do I get him? I don't know what to buy. I don't know what to put in there. And I went to the store called Things Remembered. And this is one of those stores in the mall that just has all sorts of random gifts and things that can hold sentimental value. And so I decided to grab him something that I thought he may use, but even if he didn't, it might have some sentimental value or some use for him. And I was very happy about that. So give it some thought, and your clients are going to be able to see that you have given it some thought. If you need help putting together a client welcome packet or that first welcome that comes to the client, then you should definitely download my coaching package template. Inside of the template, you'll get the client welcome email template that I use. That's essentially fill in the blank, and you'll be able to use that to welcome your clients. You'll also receive a sales funnel checklist so that you can make sure that you are all set up to receive clients. Inside of there, I also have a workshop on how to create a solid coaching program, and I share with you exactly what it was like when I booked my first couple clients and how you can know that you're including the right stuff in your coaching program, what to include and how to do all of that. You'll also receive a pricing guide. So if you haven't priced your coaching program yet, you'll be able to look through this guide and get some ideas on how to price your coaching program. At the end of the day, you've got to remember that welcoming a brand new client is just like welcoming a new family member into your family. So make them feel special, put your special touch on it, include your branding, and you'll be well on your way to positioning yourself for high-ticket coaching clients. Now, I'm curious to hear from you. Have you received a welcome gift from your coach? Are you the type of coach that actually sends out welcome gifts to your client? Comment below, let me know, and let's get the conversation started. And in the meantime, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.